Today, we're making a buckwheat risotto with asparagus and wild garlic pesto. Hi guys, welcome back to your favorite cooking channel. Today we're going to be cooking up risotto, but it's a special kind of risotto because there's no rice in it. We're going to make a risotto out of buckwheat, and trust me, you're going to love this stuff. As you can tell by the assortment of green stuff in front of me, it's going to be a green buckwheat risotto, a spring buckwheat risotto. All of this is in season right now. We have a lot of asparagus at the farmer's market. We have my favorite, what is it called? Wild garlic or ramsons or cow leek. It has many names. Beautiful, very healthy, very delicious, antioxidant rich green. I have some chives, I have some onions, I have some celery sticks. I have some mint. Some other stuff is hidden here. And I even shook up my freezer and I found some British baby broad beans. Now, I dare you to say that 10 times in a row really fast. Baby British broad beans. These guys. So yeah, we're using up all of this stuff. And yes, we're cooking with, give me a sec, I hit it here. Buckwheat. And it's green as well. It's green buckwheat. Now, buckwheat is a gluten-free grain. It's ridiculously healthy. It has a beautiful nutritious profile. You can look it up on the internet. This stuff is really, really good for you. And it's wonderful to use instead of rice in a risotto. Now, could you use rice here? Totally. You do you. Thing is, what we're gonna do today is we're gonna prepare all the veg. I think it's called mise en place. You know, when all of the things that you will need in the cooking process are prepped and ready before you start cooking. I hate it when you forget that you forgot to chop something up and something's cooking, something's boiling, something's burning and you're chopping. None of that stuff. We're gonna prepare everything and then I'm gonna walk you through step by step of how to make any kind of risotto. And you really could use any kind of grain. Oh my God, it's gonna be so good. Let's get started. Et voila. This is what I call a mise en place. Everything is ready and prepped to be cooked. A few things I want to mention. First of all, asparagus. This is what's left of it. When I cook white asparagus, I always peel off the skins and break off the ends. With the green one, I leave on the skins, but I always kind of break off the ends. You don't need them in the cooking. They're a bit more chewy. You don't want them in your risotto. But I never throw this away because this is healthy and this is a flavor bomb. So what I'm gonna do is use this in my stock. Now, for any kind of risotto, you need a stock. It could be vegetable stock, chicken, beef, whatever. This is my homemade veg stock. It's this beautiful color because I was cooking the leftovers of these purple carrots. So it has this really intense flavor. You need to heat up the stock that you will be using for the cooking process. So as I heat this up, I'm going to throw in my asparagus just to kind of oomph up the asparagus flavor. Speaking of leftovers, this is what's remaining of the onions, the celery, and some of the other veg. Again, I never throw this away. I leave it for my stock to make this good stuff. Add in the carrot tops, the carrot ends, the peels from the kohlrabi, anything left over, the trimmings from like the cauliflower, the broccoli. just kind of save it up. If you don't have that much, keep it in the bag, keep it in the freezer, and when you've got a lot, cook it off. Boom, you have vegetable stock. So, I'm going to go and heat this up. Speaking of asparagus, I keep jumping from one end of the produce to the other. I like to cut off the tops of the asparagus. The bigger ones I cut in half, the smaller ones I left in whole. I'm gonna fry these and I'm gonna use this as the topping for my risotto. Now the plan is, we start off as always with the onion and celery. We're gonna cook it over like a medium to high heat. We don't want it much browning, but we want it to kind of soften up, and in the end, as a result, it's kind of gonna melt into the risotto. So we start off by cooking this, then we're gonna add our grain, and then we're gonna talk some more. So the first thing we want to do is kind of cook off the vegetables that need some time to cook. So that's why we start with the celery and with the onion. When they're more or less softer, I added the asparagus stems. By the way, my vegetable stock with the asparagus sticks is heating up in the background. Now what I want to do is I'm going to add my grain. We're going to add it, and we're going to let it soak up all of these flavors. Now the skillet is more or less dry. There's no stock here yet. I'm not adding any more olive oil. We just want these guys to meet each other. This is like a soft introduction. And afterwards, now this is my favorite part, a very important part. We're gonna pour ourselves a glass of white wine. Could you skip this step? You could. Should you skip this step? Hell no. Never skip white wine. So a glass of wine will definitely go inside me, the cook, but also into the buckwheat. Now, then we cook off the alcohol. That will be about 15 to 20 seconds. And when we hear that everything here is drying up, then we're gonna start adding the stock, the hot stock, ladle by ladle. We don't want to drown the vegetables and the grains, but we definitely don't want any dryness in the pan. Now, I will show you that in a minute. Let me enjoy my glass of wine. You can use any kind of wine, any wine that you like. This is really nice. I'm very much enjoying it. So here we have it, quite dry. These guys have met each other. Now they need something else to get the party started, and we add the wine. And let's let it cook off. One thing I may have forgotten to mention is that I like to season my cooking every step of the way, just a little bit. So I put some salt onto the celery and the onion. Now I seasoned the buckwheat a little bit, but a little bit at a time. And now, if you can see, when we move along the grain, there really is no liquid on the bottom. That's a nice signal for us to start adding the stock. Here it is, it's nice and warm. The asparagus sticks are still swimming in there, giving away that flavor. And we add one at a time. Now, I think I might need two at this point. Let's have a look. This is what we want to see. So we don't want too much liquid in the bottom. As I mentioned before, we're not drowning the grain, but we definitely need to give it something to cook in. Now, buckwheat usually cooks about 15 to 18 minutes. That is approximately the time that it will need to cook today. And you usually cook it 1 to 2, that's the ratio. So 1 cup of buckwheat, 2 cups of water, or stock in this case. But I always like to have a little bit more on hand. If by any chance your stock has finished and you require more, you can always just add hot water. But again, stock is just another additional layer of flavor. So now we let it be, we let it cook through, and the minute we see that there's no more liquid and that everything is becoming more dry in the pan, we add more stock. See you in about 10 to 12 minutes. Now, as we can see, when we move everything along, there's not much liquid on the bottom, so it's time to fill her up. Now, have a look. Dry. We definitely need to add some more stock, but it will be ready within, let's say, 3 to 4 minutes. If you give it a try, you realize that in a couple of minutes, it will be al dente. So this is the perfect time to add in these frozen guys, because they cook in like 3 to 4 minutes. And the last minute that we have, we are going to add in these guys. I forgot what they're called, but those little beanie things as well. And now is also a great time to leave this alone, let it be, and we are going to fry up these guys on that little skillet in the background. And wild garlic pesto. I'm gonna link the recipe right over here, just click on the screen. You can add any pesto. It can be made from basil or from spinach or from arugula, but because wild garlic is in season, I'm gonna use that guy. I don't have any cheese here. It's just basically pine nuts, olive oil, lots of salt, lots of pepper, and wild garlic. I just tried it. It is al dente. It is ready to go. I want to pay attention. I want to pay your attention to the fact that we haven't added any cheese, but this stuff is so creamy and so delicious. I'm gonna serve it up. I'm gonna decorate with my asparagus tops, a little bit of the greens, the mint, the chives, maybe a few dollops of pesto. And you know what? I'm gonna add a few shavings of this like aged, gorgeous sheep cheese. And it's gonna be a party. Let's eat. This one is for my genius cameraman. Guys, this is delicious. Let me tell you, this is something that you have to make. Like, this is a must. It is so damn good. First of all, lots and lots of freshly ground black pepper. If it's not freshly ground, I don't want it. The goat cheese is nice because it has a lot of flavor. These are like little flavor bombs going off in your mouth. The asparagus, you have the crunchy bits on the top. No, it's so good. What could you add? More green vegetables. You could add some fennel. You could add some leeks, some green onion, edamame, just you name it. The key is to pile on the vegetables, always keeping in mind how long they need to cook. If it can be eaten raw, add it closer to the end. If it needs some time to cook, add it in the beginning. Experiment. Risotto is not just made for rice. You could use anything you want. I wish you all a gorgeous day, a delicious day. Subscribe to my channel. And if you try this recipe, please leave a comment below. Give me some feedback. Show me some love.